happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. Now you guys can probably already tell it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely going to want to see this one, as we got that mayor of LA, Karen Bass, find herself back in that hot seat after this leaked video of her staffer admitting to the unthinkable. In this newest update, guys, I'm excited to get into it, so we're not straight into it. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Before we even get into it, you guys hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's get into it, y'all. Check this one out.
Here, a lot of the houses though, like their yards are out of code.
Out of what?
Out of code. I don't know, like this is like a long time like waiting to happen. It was just like a taking time bomb. But like the houses, like they're supposed to be like a certain amount of feet apart too. It just wasn't the way it should have been.
So that's a staffer for Karen Bass's office, basically putting the blame on the residents instead of owning up to the fact that the city failed to provide basic infrastructure that was required to handle these sort of natural threats. This guy is essentially trying to blame the Palisades residents for not building up to code. Yeah, I guess there wasn't enough regulation and permits, right? The issue wasn't that the fire hydrants had no frickin' water. It's the homeowners' faults for not following enough of our regulations. Give me a frickin' break. This is classic leftist blame shifting and moving of the goalposts. Their incompetence destroyed a city, and then they have the audacity to turn around and say it's the citizens' fault for not adapting. Adapting to what? Your dysfunction? What an absolute farce. But that's not even the worst part. There's also this part.
I really had no idea this fire was like a possibility.
Of course they did. But the thing is, there's nothing they can do. But red flag warnings, like, it's a big indication of fires.
Yeah.
So of course they did.
He basically admits that they knew it was fire season. They knew the risk was high. They were aware that wildfires were coming, but they did not prepare. The hydrants were empty. The water wasn't flowing. The reservoir was empty, which is, by the way, another interesting admission from this James O'Keefe video.
How long was the reservoir empty?
It's like a year.
Yeah, so I guess the reservoir, in fact, was empty in the end. That wasn't fake news, as Adam Schiff suggested.
Oh my goodness, this is just too much for me right now. I'm trying to figure out, I still want to know, my mind is blown to the fact that no one has been arrested for criminal negligence between that Gavin Newsom, that Karen Bass. I mean, someone has to face accountability, you know, for knowing for this long and not addressing the problem. That's what improper leadership does for you guys. You got to make sure you know who you're voting for. Don't vote blue no matter who. Do some research, guys. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I guess the reservoir, in fact, was empty in the end. That wasn't fake news, as Adam Schiff suggested not so long ago. But anyways, they knew and they were not prepared. And then the next question comes, where was Karen Bass, the top executive in Los Angeles? Well, she was doing important business, real serial business.
She wasn't just out there, like, partying it up with Bad Bunny. You know what I mean? Like, so she was out there, like, doing work. One big plan of hers is to integrate, like, African countries to get consulates out here, and it's not like they're charity cases. Like, we're not using city funds to do this. This is like mutually beneficial. So like it benefits both our economy and theirs.
Yeah.
So that's what that's like a big like strategic goal of the office.
Los Angeles is drowning in crime, homelessness, and infrastructure failures. And of course, #1 threat during that particular time, considering it was major dry season and the winds were up, the threat of wildfires. And this is what Karen Bass was prioritizing. Some woke diplomatic mission scheduled during the worst time when Los Angeles needed leadership, needed executive decision making to make sure that they were prepared, had the infrastructure, had the blocks, had the firefighters ready to go to tackle any threat of fires. It's just mind-boggling. They frickin' knew. That's an assistant to Karen Bass's office basically saying it, not mincing words, saying, well, yeah, we knew that there was a threat. And during this time, the mayor left. And now here's where we get to the next part of this video, which might be the worst of all. I know you might be noticing a pattern. Each and every next clip that I play just adds more and more disaster to the totality of this story. The absolute worst thing, especially after hearing what you just heard from her staffer, Karen Bass's response to facing criticisms in respect to the timing of her diplomatic mission.
I just am curious on the thought process behind it.
Right.
Because we know that there was warnings about the weather before you went, and you still went. What was the thought process behind going to Ghana?
When the White House called and asked me if I would represent the president, I said yes. It was going to be a very, very short trip, over a weekend and 2 business days. We need to look at everything about the preparation and all of that for the fires, because I think when we evaluate that, we will find that although there were warnings that I frankly wasn't aware of, I think our preparation wasn't what it typically is, meaning that before there's a major weather event, for example, last week when we knew we were going to get into the rains, you saw us come together and us talk about, get your sandbags, bring the K-rails out. That type of preparation didn't happen. If that had, I will tell you, Alex, I wouldn't have even gone to San Diego, let alone leave the country. When I talked about it with the fire chief, what she said is that we have warnings of Santa Ana winds a lot, but predicting this, and you saw, from the city, from the county, that level of preparation really didn't happen. So it didn't reach that level to me to say something terrible could happen.
I'm really trying to figure out why she is smiling while describing the chaos that she created. If she feels so bad, feels so terrible, why is she still smiling through all of this and saying that this was totally preventable? True leadership wasn't in place. We didn't prepare like we should have. This is all my fault is essentially what she's saying, in my opinion.
Maybe you shouldn't have gone on the trip. Investigations are taking place internal to the city, and that's the Fire Commission, to examine everything, the pre-deployment, why were firefighters sent home, all of that should have taken place that didn't. So everything that happened, including that, needs to be examined. I felt absolutely terrible not being here for my city and not being here for my family, who was impacted by the fires as well. And so when I say it was a mistake, absolutely, the idea that I was not present was very painful.
Holy frickin' moly. I mean, only a Democrat could get away with saying that. Are you kidding me? You're the mayor. Nobody should have to tell you how to do your damn job. But of course, in typical Democrat fashion, it's somebody else's fault, right? Here comes the cover-up. We need to do an investigation into somebody else, throw some other low-level staffer under the bus to save the big incompetent mayor, to save Karen Bass. She's doing an investigation into her staff, trying to get to the bottom of the mystery why somebody let her leave during this crucial time. I mean, you can't make this up. Karen Bass is just peak Democrat. I don't even know what else to say other than the scandal just got this much worse. Now look, I know California voters are a special breed and they're likely to probably re-elect these clowns, but considering everything we know, in a fair and just world, I don't see how Karen Bass or Gavin Newsom would ever be able to show their face in public ever again. California leadership is an absolute clown show. It's the freaking circus. Who in their right mind is electing these people?
Yo, there we have it, guys. That one coming from our friend Liberal Hive Mind. Definitely be sure to leave that original video link down in the description box below. For those who want to go over there and check that entire thing out. Also, you guys to go over there and show our friend Liberal Hive Mind tons of love and support. He's a great guy. Oh my goodness, guys. That LA Mayor Karen Bass is showing us that DEI is not dead. It's still alive and working well as planned. She cannot be serious now saying they're starting up investigations internally into the non-preparation for the fires. Sounds like the leadership is just lacking all around the board over there in California. These folks really need to wake up, wisen up to who they're truly voting for. And this is why I say you have to learn how to vote, because if you don't, things like this are destined to happen and they're not going to take any accountability whatsoever. This is totally just blame shifted to the next person until everyone else just kind of forgets about the situation. But no, these folks need to have their feet held to the fire. The leadership, the folks that were supposed to be in charge, those that were voted for, guys, definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one. We got it.